I'm sat here with my colleague that's large. He's going to ask me a question that he doesn't care about necessarily, but has been sent to us by a teacher in High Wycombe, and his class have been pestering him with a question, which Will is going to put to me, I think.
I don't think it's true to say I don't care about this question.
Well, you don't care about it as much as they do.
They care about it a lot, but I think it's quite an interesting question, so I am actually looking forward to your response. And let's hope it's observation caliber.
You're raising their expectations.
So the question is, if I've got it right, is why isn't the desire for Nirvana a contradiction? Because surely in Buddhism we're not supposed to have any desires. So if there is this desire for the ultimate, why doesn't it end up contradicting?
So that's quite a good question. It's not an unusual one when people look at Buddhism and think it seems to promote desirelessness.
Is that a word?
It actually is a word.
Oh, right.
The spell check doesn't like it. So just adding S's on the end.
This is your spell check?
Yes, spell check. That's why my writing is so good.
Oh, right.
Desirelessness is promoted by Buddhism. But actually, it doesn't seem to say in Buddhism that desire is rejected, because desire is an English word, and the words that actually are used in the Pali texts for desire are chosen in the majority of cases quite carefully. So there are at least 15 or 16 words that are used in the Pali text that sometimes get translated as desire or its relations in English. So it might not be the case actually that Buddhism rejects all desire anyway. So even before we get to the question of Nirvana.
Well, that's quite similar, because there's usually a kind of similar question in the West tradition about Stoicism, because Stoicism is the idea of renouncing desire.
Yeah.
And then people say, well, how can you be a moral person if you renounce all desires? In fact, you'd be dead, because you renounce the desire of eating, sleeping, whatever.
Yeah, become kind of nothing.
But the Stoics, they have distinguished between desire for external things and what they consider to be a kind of internal desire for the good. And so they distinguish between good and bad desire.
Well, they make a distinction in Buddhism there is a kind of a typology of desire, but the criteria for the typology isn't so much internal and external as the Buddhist term kusala, which means it's sometimes taken to mean good, so a kusala is bad. But many people have a view that it's not quite captured by the good, bad, moral terms in English, more the skillful, unskillful, as if it's somehow kind of a competency, like knowing how to kind of compose mental states and things. So some forms of desire are clearly always a kusala in Buddhism. So very thirsting, grasping, desperate states of desire driven by fear and greed and lust are always going bad. But other kinds of aspirational desire states, dharmachanda, the desire for the Dharma, the teaching of the Buddha, that's fine. So Buddhism makes quite a distinction between some desire states that are always bad. Some desire states can be good or bad depending on two things. One is their object, what they desire for. The second is how do you desire it. So it introduces two aspects. The idea of what it is you want. Desiring the death of your enemies is always bad. But desiring some things is sometimes good and sometimes bad. So I desire a good thing in a way that was negative and caused me and others harm, was desperate and dreadful. But I could desire a good thing in a calm way, because the Buddha, during the period after his enlightenment, doesn't act like this vegetative stereotype of the Stoics and just sit there. He spends a lot of time going around doing stuff. So he clearly has aspirations. He explains things to people and tells them. Clearly he aspires that they will understand him. He has preferences that people be good and not bad at various things. So that kind of common sign-off or kind of view from Buddhist people will say, may all beings be well and safe from harm. Well, clearly may all is a kind of desire. They desire this state of affairs be instantiated rather than another. So just to say Buddhists try and get rid of all desires, this isn't true. They try and get rid of certain types of negative desire. That's half of an answer about desire.
Oh, you mean there's more?
You said how excited you were.
I am very excited.
What was the other half going to be about?
I'm assuming it's going to be something about Nirvana.
Yeah, that's right. You were kind of awake rather than just being on a Zen face.
Exactly.
In Nirvana, there is the sense of, well, can you achieve Nirvana while you still attain it? You sometimes find people writing kind of more devotional literature saying the last thing you need to give up before you attain Nirvana is the desire to do so. But I still think that's rather trapped in this kind of notion of all desire being of one type, both in terms of object, but also in terms of quality. So the image that I tend to prefer or find more in line with what you find in the early Pali texts is one not of redirecting desire, not one of rejecting it, but a kind of refining of desire, a kind of, I should have got quite the right resonance, but a kind of purification of desire, where your desire becomes free from kind of egotistical aspects, becomes much more compassionate and kind of worthy. So the desire itself becomes a different kind of thing and goes through. So just as meditation is meant to be a transformative process, so the attempt to the kind of achieving nirvana, the closer one gets to it, as I understand it, is meant to be transforming the way that you aspire. Just as it transforms your ethical articulation of kind of beliefs and things. So I think that's kind of the answer.
Yes, and that's a very full and very convincing answer, Dave.
I'm glad you're fully convinced, and I hope people listening will be at least partly convinced.
I think they will be.
Thank you.